What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another one. And this one is True Detective Night Country Episode 3. We are going to go through who is behind this whole thing and what's going on. And I'm pretty confident that I figured this whole thing out, and what I'm going to tell you in this video is most likely how this whole thing is going to end. If you could do me a favor, please help me spread this video over the algorithm by getting 500 likes. That's what triggers the algorithm. Please help me spread this video out. Let's get right into it. The video starts off with them showing that Annie was delivering babies, and this baby particularly that she was delivering got stillborn for a little while, and that harkens back to what we see later in the movie, that we hear that a lot of babies now are becoming stillborn, and they're telling you that this is happening because of the water and the mine, and that's the whole deep fake, because that is not what's going on. We also hear that Lund has been awake for a little bit, but they had to put him out. He lost his arms, he lost his leg, he's got gangrene all over his fingertips. So in the beginning they're not able to talk to him, but they do talk to him at the end. And when they do get a chance to talk to him, he wakes up, and then he says, "We woke her up, and then she came for them under the ice." After that is when we see them finally break the code to Annie's telephone, and when they do, there's a video of her in some type of ice cavern, and while she's down there, she's like, "I found it," and then all of a sudden it sounds like she's being attacked by some type of monster out there. Now, I know a lot of people in my comment section has told me that this is True Detective, so this is just going to be plausible. There's not going to be any craziness going on, but I beg to differ. I think craziness is what we're getting. Now, after doing a lot of background research on this relationship that we've seen that Annie had with the scientist, they find that there's another guy named Oliver who was having a relationship with the person who did all their hair, used to be there, but he took off a long time ago. They finally do track him down. He's in some type of shanty village. It seems he has taken up the culture and is now one with the people that live there. After they tell him that all the other scientists are dead, all he does is basically pull a shotgun on them and throw them out. So they really don't get a lot of information from this dude. All they really got was that Annie K and this dude were having an affair, and it was her that did not want the people to know about this affair. She was the one that was keeping it a secret, but as they seen that there was one picture of them that was taken by somebody, and that person was the hairdresser, which led them to Oliver. By far, the most interesting thing we got this episode was the bodies. The bodies finally get looked at. They get looked at by a veterinarian because they don't have any forensic people there because the weather's too bad for them to get there. And he specifically says that these people did not die from cold. They did not freeze to death. In fact, he says that they died before they got frozen to death, and he believes they all died of heart attacks, and he compared it to a situation where animals who have heart attacks first after being scared, and that's the way that they turn up. I would guess it would be like something like a mouse. You hear that mouses have heart attacks when cats chase them, and that's how they die, not the cat actually killing them. I think it's a situation like that, but then that brings you to what would scare them like that? What would make them run away from whatever was chasing them and scare them to the point where they all had heart attacks and then died outside? Now it makes me think that if they did die outside, then that means someone stacked these bodies on top of each other and put them out there for display. We also learned in this episode why the Chief and Navarro don't get along. They were investigating a case. This dude, William Wheeler, he was beating up his wife, and they went out there and tried to stop it, but she never wanted to press charges. Well, they finally get the phone call. They go out there, they go into the house. William Wheeler has already killed his wife, and then they say that they both found both of their bodies dead, but we can clearly see from the flashback that he was still alive. So that means one of these cops killed this man. So I have to believe that it was Navarro that killed him because she felt guilty that she wasn't there to help, and that gives Navarro the reason that she failed Annie K and why she's taken so much interest in this. Also, we hear again from the hairdresser how badly Annie K was kicked and stomped so many times and stabbed so many times. That's why Navarro doesn't want to fail this woman like she feels that she failed William Wheeler's wife. In this episode, we also see the chief dealing with her stepdaughter. Obviously, she does not want her stepdaughter to wear her traditional makeup. Why? Not because she's prejudiced against it, because it reminds her of Annie. And she knows what happened to Annie. Annie went to these protests because of her being the person who delivers all these children. All of a sudden now we see that it's because of the water that they're believing that these miscarriages and these stillborn births are happening, and they're blaming it on the minors, and that's what does the 360 loop to get Annie all the way back to the protest. All right, so what is really going on here in this show? I think it's going to end like this. I think that they keep bringing up the fact of how many times she was stabbed and how many times she was kicked, and they want you to make you believe that it was racially motivated or because of the mime. That is not the case. The case is because this woman came back to life. How did this happen? Well, we see her inside of these ice catacombs, and that is where she's attacked. So something was down there that attacked her. We know that they're looking for bioorganisms that can extend life. So somehow she was killed, most likely by something that was down there, and reanimated. Now, what I think happened was after she got infected from being down in there, she came back, and then the researchers that were there killed her for whatever she became. And then after they killed her, she came back to life, and she gave them all heart attacks because they were like, what the hell? How is this chick back to life? Scared them to death. Now, this reminds me of an old movie that came out a long time ago called The Thing. And I think the same type situation is going on. Not verbatim, not copying it all the way, but I think that they're using it. It just so happens that they showed a picture of the chief right next to the TV set that had The Thing right there on it. And I don't think they just put that in there as an Easter egg. I think they put that in there because this show was going to be based around that. So let's break down exactly what could have happened. Annie goes into this cave. She gets attacked by some type of creature down there or something that has this parasites with it. She's either found by her boyfriend or she makes it back there because she knows that her boyfriend is a scientist and maybe that they can help her. While she's in there, somehow she freaks out because of this stuff that's inside of her, and they have to kill her. And that's why they stabbed her so many times. That's why they kicked her, because they had to make sure that she was dead from whatever was inside of her that got inside of her on this cage. While she's dead and while she's out there, all of a sudden, she comes back to life. They're like, holy shit, how'd this bitch come back to life? They get scared. She winds up killing them and chasing them outside. After that, they die, and then she stacks the bodies up outside, inside of this formation. That is what I think is going on here. So it is somewhat a zombie situation, but based on some type of biological thing that was found inside of the ice. That's what I believe is happening. But hey, could I be wrong? Maybe. Do you know what's going on? If I've missed something, I want to hear from you in the comment section, and not just in this video. I want to hear from you on the live stream that we'll be doing on Wednesday night, and from Wednesday night from here on out, the Don Tony Teflon Fill the Issues guy. Make sure you're subscribed. It's a call-in live stream, so you'll be able to call in and tell us exactly what you think is going on. I can't wait to hear from you. But that's my theory. Again, if you think I'm wrong, you have every right to tell me so, but please tell me why you believe that to be true and what you think is going on in here. But if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and of course subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.